Yeah, thank you very much, gentlemen. This morning is another one of those good mornings where we would like to interact with you, members of the press. I know a few days ago, Taonga, he did his best to put me under immense pressure with his questions. So I made a promise to him. I said, Taonga, just keep your cool. We'll make up, and no problem. In fact, what happened that day at MEG was totally uncalled for. What makes me say this is because we had already communicated to them that our running mate was outside the country and he failed to arrive. He would not be in time for the slot that we had been given. So when we met MEG, first of all, we spoke to MEG. That was on Sunday evening, and informed them about the situation, our predicament. We were advised the following day. We were advised to go there facing in the morning on Monday, which we did. So we explained our situation, and we asked for an extension to say, please, why don't you give us another slot? In their response, they told us that they could not give us another slot because they were running a very tight schedule. But they didn't stop there. They said, okay, fine. Since you're only talking about one aspect of the forms, namely that which deals with the running mate, you can still come and present the rest of the documents, except for the portion that covers the running mate. You can bring those documents later, but before the 30th of July. You follow what I'm saying? So that was the arrangement, that we should still proceed to present, although the papers for the running mate were not yet completed, because we told him that he would not be in time for the 1:30 p.m. slot. So we proceeded as advised, only for them to turn around and start telling us about the very same thing we brought to their attention. Do you get my point? It's like suddenly they came across a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. We already brought it to their attention to say this part has not yet been completed because the gentleman is not yet here. All right? So it was presented by them like they've just stumbled upon a mistake in the paperwork, which wasn't the case. I just wanted to clarify that point. I hope I've made myself very. In fact, we have even we wrote to them to say we were really aggrieved by what they did, because in addition to what I've said, we know that some of the candidates were given another chance, like the presidential candidate David Mbewe. He was given another slot. Okay, Frank Mwenefumbo, he withdrew, but later he said he was contesting, so he was accommodated. Now, there was nothing really peculiar about our requests. It was within the same context, different reasons, but still in the context of seeking an extension. But, well, things do happen in life. We accept it and we move on. So here we are today, this morning. Thank you very much. Now, gentlemen, that day, as we said, the challenge that we had was to do with the running mate. So we thought today this is a good opportunity for me to introduce this gentleman who caused us to appear like we were ill-prepared for the exercise. But the truth of the matter is that is not the case. So at this point in time, I will introduce our running mate. Yes, here is Chris Charles Bula. This guy is 100% Malawian. He, as we said that day, that he was not in the country and that he was on his way to Malawi. I think you'll be interested to know one or two things. Let me say one or two things about him so you can get to know him better. So as I said, Chris is a fellow young man like yourselves. Eh? You don't want to have a running mate who is older than you. Eh? You want to have somebody who is younger than you so that you can be reinforcing each other. And when your time is up for you to move out of the stage, then you know that you are leaving behind somebody who is able to carry on with the job. Now, Chris has got a Bachelor of Public Administration and Management, a bachelor's degree, and then he also holds a diploma in media and master communication. He also has a certificate in small-scale mining. And currently, I mean, he's got his quest for knowledge is very high. He's not satisfied with what he has, and he's currently studying for a bachelor's in political science. By way of experience, Chris, he runs his own business. It's called Kwacha Industrial Solutions. Kwacha Industrial Solutions, and he's also a co-founder of Soche Youth Arm Organization. He saw that the youth were getting disoriented in Malawi, disillusioned, and he felt he needed to do something to help the youth so that they can be properly channeled, they can be properly groomed. And so he established with his colleagues this organization, which is it is called Soche Youth Arm Organization. But at times he also lectures at Port Shepstone International College or School in South Africa. He also lectures there. And also he is president and co-founder of a political party still in the process of registration. It is called Democracy and Economic Freedom Party. As I said, it is not yet registered. They are working towards its registration. And it is called Democracy and Economic Freedom Party. So, ladies and gentlemen, the long-awaited and the one and only Chris Bula. Welcome, Chris. This is our running mate. Maybe just stand, please. Maybe before I proceed, I would like you to hear a few words from Chris. I'm sure you'll be asking him some questions, but I'm sure he's got a few words to say so that you can hear his voice.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, for gracing this occasion. He has already said much about me. I don't really have so much to say for myself, but all I can say is that I'm right here in your presence just to fulfill a dream that we, as Malawians, aspire to achieve time to come, beginning from now, right? I know there's going to be a lot of questions that you people are going to ask. So let me not take much of my time or much of your time. I will hand over the floor back to you, Honorable President.
Are you ready to fight?
Yes. That's why we are here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we are going to fight tooth and nail until we achieve what we feel is good for our country, for the entire nation. Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Journalists can also clap, eh? Okay. All right. So I think this is the issue that held our country spellbound on Monday, not knowing what is going to happen or whether we're just pulling people's legs. But what we said was exactly what has transpired. So we are happy that Chris is finally here and is ready to fight for the freedom of our country. I'll give brief remarks, and then thereafter we can take it up. I think you will be ready for your questions. Now, fellow Malawians, I would like to speak a few words in relation to where our country stands as of today. The foundations of our country, ladies and gentlemen, are destroyed. As we are seated here this morning, the foundations of integrity, patriotism, hard work, honesty, love, respect for life, virtue, excellence are almost extinct. You know, what is happening in our country as a result, we see that young people are being sold into slavery. We've seen young people fleeing this country, fleeing into nations outside Malawi in search of opportunities. Malawians are like refugees in their own nation. Poverty, extreme poverty, corruption, violence, dishonesty, laziness, beggary attitudes, lack of integrity, broken promises, high inflation, lack of employment, disillusionment, heartlessness are the order of the day. Our children's future looks very bleak, and we see in our country to become old has become like a curse. The sanctity of life is no longer there. Some, as we are all aware, have even resorted to merchandising their own relations. Fellow Malawians are selling their own relatives. These stories, we have heard them in this country. People's buying power has been destroyed. Businesses are hemorrhaging due to a perennial forex drought. Public hospitals are empty. Public service has become a lucrative business in Malawi. Politically motivated violence is on the loose. We are simply a nation in deep crisis. And the question that we need to contend with this morning is, who shall bail us out from this deep socio-economic mess? The kwacha has plummeted to levels which are unprecedented. We've never reached this low economically. Well, you recall, somebody said that you cannot solve problems with the same level of thinking that created them. And when we look at what has happened to our beautiful nation, it is a sum total of the bad policies and decisions that have been taken over the decades. Post-1994. And each subsequent regime has simply perfected the ills and the vices of his predecessor. And as we all know, all the political parties, let me say the majority of the political parties, I think I want to take that again. They say the majority of political parties in Malawi, they have got one main parent. And who is that? It's MCP, as we all know. Like one of their own faithful recently said that it is MCP which is like the mother of all political parties. And we know that MCP begot UDF. UDF begot DPP. DPP begot PP. And DPP begot UTM. And of course UTM has given birth to Odiazake. So you can see that when you look at all these political parties, they have got one common thread that runs through them. In terms of development of our country, nations which were way behind us in terms of economic growth have now overtaken us. Tanzania is a good case in point. Mozambique, Rwanda. There are several countries which were lagging behind, but now they are way ahead of us, and we're even having to go to their nations to learn what it is that they are doing right. And we know for a fact that Rwanda got their blueprint from Vision 2020. It's working for them. It has worked for them. And the question is, why should a student use the formula of his or her teacher, and yet the teacher himself is failing to make progress? So the student is making a lot of progress, but the professor himself is failing to make progress. The student is using the professor's blueprint to make tremendous economic progress. So why is the same progress lacking in our country? So this is where we have seen our country being now. And when we look at what is happening on the political field, the politics of Malawi are such that they are helping the political elite to advance economically, while the rest of the citizenry is lagging behind, is retrogressing. I mean, we are today, a Malawian is a lot poorer than he was even in 2020 when the current regime went into power. So this is the situation that is obtaining in Malawi. Our country is heavily shackled by what I call politics. It is not politics, because politics is about the common good. Politics is about development of a country. Politics is about improving the people's welfare. That is politics. But what has happened in this country, and it is important, ladies and gentlemen, that we understand this very clearly, because unless we understand our problem, unless we analyze our problem, it will be difficult for us to find solutions that can address these diseases. So, it is politics that we find at play in Malawi, not politics. But it is politics. People ndiye akuti zotana zijaye amati kutana ndiye politics hiyo. It has got nothing to do about developing the country, but how to scheme against one another. If Tawanga has got a good job, I want to scheme until he falls down so that I can take over that position. Ndiye zotana zo. That is politics. Because people that practice progressive politics, they have developed. Look at the countries of the world. They are practicing politics, not politics. So in Malawi, ladies and gentlemen, this is the major challenge that we are having to deal with as we go into September 16, 2025. We have got a big problem. You see, you cannot properly deal with a situation when you have not yet identified the root cause. So the root cause of our problems in this country, the root cause is politics. Ndarezo zotana, always scheming against one another. I mean, the other day you heard the president says, I was misdirected, that's why I removed that minister. I will not mention names here. One time he said that, you remember? He was removing, he said to me, he says, I was misdirected. So it means somebody went to him and told stories about him, deceitful message, and the president acted on it. That person was removed, and that was it. And so you find that the biggest culprit is the Malawian, the ordinary Malawian. Instead of these guys who are in public offices driving policies and decisions for the benefit of the ordinary Malawian, you find that these guys, they are busy scheming against one another. And it is kutanako and greed, self-aggrandizement, enriching myself. Individuals yesterday who were poor, today they are billionaires. Right here in Malawi. I'm talking about individuals in 2020, they were struggling economically. But today, you hear they're billionaires. The question is, how did you acquire those billions? Politics. And nobody is held accountable. Look at SEB today. Are you proud of the SEB of today? I'm not. The SEB of today, one, it has got an acting director. The question is, why has that position not been filled until now? So SEB is destroyed. How about the director of public prosecution? I think he's only reputed for withdrawing cases. Oh, he's withdrawn this case. Oh, he's withdrawn that case. We didn't employ him to be just withdrawing cases. We employed him to be prosecuting cases. So if these gentlemen, they cannot do their job, let them quit now. Greed, scheming, and so on and so forth. Even when it comes to employment, they will tell you, I see why. But the guy is a Malawian. He's well qualified. He or she has got all the relevant qualities. They are willing to employ somebody who is ill-suited for the job and leaving a properly competent person right there beside him. Ndiye politics hiyo. Ndiye ziko lingatukuke. Nkumada bakuti bwanja nzatu ku Rwanda akupita chisogoro ifitokubera mbuyo. Zikalizoda business. They are not playing politics. They are applying politics for the common good. So, this is what is happening in this country, my fellow Malawians. When Malawians voted DPP out in 2020, Malawians were promised the moon. 101 million jobs, fertilizer at 4,495. This and that, kuja katatu pasiku. Have those promises been realized? And so many others. Oh, will build Mombera University in Mzimba. Oh, we're going to construct Oton Chirwa International Airport. Let me ask you this question. Have those development projects, have they come to fruition? Zero. And today, the same mouths are uttering another litany of promises. You see, these are the issues that as we go into September 16th, we should be seriously debating. Don't just get excited about what people are saying, the rhetoric that is there. And you'll be hearing a lot of that. So what we have in Malawi is a leadership crisis. We have a leadership crisis. And we must find the right panacea for this crisis if we are going to make any change, any difference post 16 September 2025. How is Malawi going to address this mammoth challenge, the leadership challenge? It's very easy to come here and parrot promises, blah, blah, oh yeah, this is very sound, this sounds very good, but have we not been there before? Many, many times. Have those promises come to pass? Zero. So that people will be coming again this time. Let's look at what is happening in terms of violence. When you analyze the violence that is ravaging our country, it is violence that is rooted in certain tribes. It's one tribe fighting another. When you analyze the violence that is taking place in Malawi today, it is violence that is rooted in some of the tribes in Malawi. Two tribes are fighting for control. You know them, eh? Don't you know the tribes? You know them, don't you? I'm asking the journalists, don't you know them? So it's merely, it has got nothing to do with the running of the country. It's just two tribes jostling for power. Two tribes. The Lomwe, the Chewa, period. Two tribes are jostling for power, political power. And the country is continuing to go backward into the abyss. And so, ladies and gentlemen, my team, we are promising, it's a breath of fresh air. You know what I've stood for in this country. You know how I've resisted corruption in this country, not just, but even fought it. I've spoken against it openly. Tell me who in the current regime today is condemning corruption. Just give me one person who in the past 1 month or 2 months you've heard condemn corruption in Malawi. I've never heard. So what is happening? Corruption is being facilitated at a very ruthless rate. And the country continues to suffer. You know, the other day I was telling you about some of my leadership credentials. How we managed to bring together a team of highly talented Malawians in the US and in Malawi. And they are doing great things for the country, affecting the the health sector. My role was to assemble this team. One of the challenges we have had in this country is leaders who feel insecure. When they see talent, which they don't have, they are threatened, they feel intimidated. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not afraid of fellow Malawians who are better than me. In fact, I like those individuals. I'll look for them, I'll locate them, and I'll recruit them for the good of this country. That's what you are seeing happening in the health sector now. These are highly talented Malawians, very passionate, who love this country, and they will do whatever it takes to help this country move forward. That is one of my unique skills. And I want to tell you that this is not the end of the story. You hear about other teams that I'm going to assemble. As I said, I'm not afraid of individuals who are better than me. I like such individuals. As long as we can bring them together for the good of our country, I'll do that not just twice, not just 3 times, not just 4 times, but as many times as is required. I'll do that. And they are so happy to be doing something for the good of the country. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we, with my colleague here, with Chris is a young man. I mean, he's about, you're what, 45 now? 45. Yes, Chris is 45. He's a lot younger than me. I may also look just as young, but but we have the energy. So together we want to engage with the youth of this country through Chris, and also with other skills that he has. Okay? He's a coach, educational coach. He's an entrepreneur. He's into mass media, communication. And together, we'll make a very formidable team to help rescue this country. Let me tell you this. As I'm talking, there are people outside this country and organizations that are ready to help us, to bail us out of this economic mess. What I've told you about this thing that we're doing in the medical field is case in point. They are there, and they are ready to come here and help us resuscitate this economy. You see, our economy at the moment is like a patient who is in HDU, a high dependency unit at the hospital. So let's not fool ourselves here. We need others to help us now until we are able to stand on our own. If you go to hospitals, there's no medicine there. Nobody is talking about those medicines. People are sleeping on the floor. I mean, you have been there. It's happening in our country. You go to into the education sector. We've got pupils who are still learning Pasibantengu. Young people, they're just loitering around. They can't find any jobs. We want to do certain things for the young people in this country. Training outside this country. As I said, there are individuals who trust us that we can do these things. That's why you have seen things happening in the country. So, these are some of the few things wanted to address you on this morning, that we are ready. We are ready to serve the people of Malawi from 16th September 2025. We have been in this game for some time now. I was brought up in this country, educated in this country, and I know what Malawians are suffering from. As I close, let me say this. We have heard about a leadership guru in the name of Dr. Miles Munro. Have we? No, one time he said something very interesting. I attended one of his training sessions in the Bahamas. So he gave us a story, and this story, if you have come across this book, it's called The Spirit of Leadership. He said, it was very fascinating. So he said, if you have got a pride of lions on one side, okay, but the leader is a sheep, Nkosa, okay, and then on the other side, you've got a flock of sheep with the lion as the leader. You follow that example? On one side, you've got lions, and all of them are led by this sheep. On the other side, you've got a flock of sheep which are led by a lion. So he asked us the question. He says, between these two groups, if they fight, which one is going to win? Here, there's a pride of lions behind the sheep. On the other side, okay, there's a pride of lions behind this one sheep. The sheep is the leader. On the other side, you've got a flock of sheep, but the leader is a lion. So he asked us a question. If these two groups fight, which of them is going to win the bout? Any guesses from the audience? Frederick, who? Which one is going to win? True enough, that's what he said. He says this one that is led by sheep, a sheep is going to lose the bout. The flock of sheep that is led by a lion is going to win. Now let me, as I close, I want to leave you with this question. When you analyze the leadership, the current leadership, are we led by a lion or a sheep? When you look at the leadership of DPP, Are they led by a lion or a sheep? When you look around, ask yourself the question, who is leading? Is it a lion or a sheep? Depending upon who is leading, the results will speak for themselves. Thank you very much.
We'll give you a chance to ask a question, either in English or Chichewa. As we need to realize that our target audience, mainly they are Chichewa speakers, Malawians. So I would love if we could ask more questions in Chichewa.
Chabwino, ine ndi Zafanaya Nungu, ochokera ku Nkoma Synod Radio. Nimafuna ningodziwa kuti nthawi imene running mate anu ku South Africa simunapanga calculate nthawi kuna kuti by this time around akhala tabwera potenga sinema data ameke amene munapasidwa. Thank you.
Olemekezeka, ine ndi Comfort Brazil Nkoma, tichoka ku TMVN. Funso langa ndakuti potengera ndi imene ndaleza ku Malawi kuno zilili meso mafuruza kale zimafuna kwambiri mwina ma numbers inu ngatiso andale mafuna anthu ovota ochuluka. Sindidziwa zoti mwina mwayika njira zanji potengera so kuti kuli campaign imene ya 50%+1.
Ine ndi Austin Katunga kuchokera ku Nzati Radio and TV. Choyambirira ndimafuna ndidziwe kuti running mate anu afika mdziko muno liti. Kutengera kuti dzulo tinamva make akunena kuti anthu amene anakubwezani ndi makalata anu mwakaperekanso mavuto amene analipo akonzedwa, sitimva zinthu zina mtsogolomo. Komanso nkhani ina ndiyokhudza kunena kuti inu munali ku mgwirizano atonse omwe anthu kunjako ndithu ayankhula zinthu zochuluka kwambiri. Tinene kuti muli kukonzeka kubwezetsa chikhulupiriro cha Malawi amene ndithu ambiri akunena kuti analuza nanu chikhulupiriro ndi malingana nzomwe munalonjeza ngati chipani cha PETRA mutani makamaka, komanso nkhani ya 50+1 tiyembekezere kuti mukhale mukuchita mgwirizano ndi chipani china chilichonse popita mtsogolo.
Funso loyamba ndila running mate kuti kodi inu madziwa programu ya MEC nanga bwanji simnaongeze masamu bwino kuti akhale atafika mdziko muno. Ya lero funso limeneli poti ene ake alipo mpano ndi bwino kuti Amalawi amve pakamwa pawo. Zikomo kwambiri. Over to you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Honorable President. Okay. Zikomo kwambiri. Tatokoza kwambiri olemekezeka President. Komanso ma members anzanga pano ku National Executive Committee ya PETRA komanso Democracy and Economic Freedom. Funso limenelo ndilabwino kwambiri. Tonse tikudziwa pano kuti pachitika zambiri pa nkhani ya ma running mate pa nthawi yopanga presentation ya ma nomination papers. Ndiye pena kumangodziwa kumapeto kwenikweni kwa nkhani yonse kuti iwe ndi running mate. Ine ndimakhala konkuno. So a president amagaza ngati I'm still around in Malawi, koma nali ntapita ku South Africa ku Kimberley kumeneso ndimapanga business ina monga mukudziwa situation yathu Malawi muno economically. Ndiye ndili kumene kucha anadzandimira phone kuti zada tikumane ndimata ndachokapo for an emergency koma ndikhandilipo mwansanga. Ndamata no, as soon as you are back ubwere ku office kwanga kuti tione tipanga bwanji tikambirane zili zitatu. Mukumbukira kuti ndineso mtsogoleri wa chipani cha Democracy and Economic Freedom kumene konso kuli ma members athu ena akuluakulu aku National Executive Committee ngati olemekezeka chairperson ali kumeneko. So ndimenaso kuma ndi anthu amene acha. So no nditamva zoti ndibwere kunoko from where I was because I was driving, then ndimenaso ndibwerere uzafika Johannesburg nditenge flight ndizibwera kuno ku Malawi. And driving from that province kufika ku Johannesburg it's about 7 hours or so. Ndiye zinandivutira kuti ndikwanitse kufika masanga ku Johannesburg. And my paper amaenda kuperekedwa on a Monday around 1:30. I managed to drive overnight kuzafika ku Johannesburg, komano I was not able to secure a flight kubwera kuno. Madziwa ndege zathu zobwera ku Malawi zimakhala zosowa kwambiri, maiko ambiri. Mwina kulemba pezeka imodzi ya Johannesburg to Blantyre kapena ku Lilongwe. Then nazai misa imeneyo that was on a Monday when the papers were supposed to be submitted ku Malawi Electoral Commission, BICC. And then after that, fortunately, I only managed to secure a flight on Wednesday, Mamawa. That was around 10 o'clock. Imene manyamuka 10:40, somewhere there. And ngati panali kuchedwa, zifukwa zake zinali zimenezo, kuti ndinangochoka mwadzidzidzi. Nadziwanso zo ndili running mate mwadzidzidzi, menezo makhalira mucha, but I still managed kufika kuno before the closing time on Wednesday. Tinapita ku BICC ndikupanga submit zonse zofunikira, ndipo everything is on track. We are ready to go. Nkhondo timenya, ndipo Malawi wabwino akubwera ndithu kupyolera mutsogoleri wa Honorable His Excellency the President Bambo Chibambo, komanso mogwirizana ndi ife kuno Democracy and Economic Freedom. Panopa DEF sinamaliza panga registration, tikudikirira kuti atipatse certificate. Bwezi mutaona somwena pali makala zena ake pano achipani chimenechi. Briefly ndikozongonera kuti simbo yathu padakali pano ndi tractor imene ikulima ndithu, kusonyezanso chitukuko china chowonjezera pa chitukuko chimene PETRA inayo mu constitution mwawo. Ndiye nthawi ina iliyonse tikuona kuti Registrar General atipatsa green lights kuti now we can begin to operate as a political party, ndi kuti muonaso zimenezo zikuchitika ndithu. Ndimeleke pamene Mr. President.
Zikomo kwambiri. Well, I think mwanga tikudziwa kuti nkhani imene ya running mate ndi nkhani yoti yakhudza zipani, si chipani chimodzi chokha yayi. Zipani zingapo zakhuzidwa ndi nkhani imeneyi, ndipo tikudziwa kuti even zipani zina kuti akapereka mapepa la mawa lakero amakhala kuti akuyankhula nabe ndi zipani zina, sititchula mayina ayi. So sikuti nkhani imeneyi yatikhuza ife tokha ayi, koma ine ndikusangalala kuti Chris talumikizana, ndipo Chris monga wafotokoza pano kuti nawonso ali yakali kuti mapepa lawo achipani athe bwinobwino, akonzeke bwinobwino kuti pakhale kuthamanga kwabwino. Choncho izi ndi zimene zikuchitika pakali pano, ndipo monga fotokoza Chris kuti mapepa lathu dzulo tinakapereka. Chifukwa Chris wafika amapanga arrive about 10:01 ku Kia, ndipo tinapanga zothekera kuti mapepa lathu onse atheke kanthawi kochepa ndikukapereka ku MEC. Monga mukumbukira, just to remind you, tsiku limeneja acheya ameka manena kuti mapepa la running mate simna ngosa saina, ndi ena mwayi mukhoza kukumbukira nafunsa kuti sono munthu usaina bwanji ngati nthawi imeneyo yofunika usaine iwe palibe. Koma ndifuna ndikusimikizire na Malawi nonse kuti zonse zosainira zija dzulo zatha, tapasa mapepa laja, ndipo pakali pano ali kuyang'anayang'ana kuunguza mapepa amenewo monga kupangira ndi zipani zina zonse. Ndi nkhani imene tafuna kuti tingolankhulapo. Funso lachiwiri mwafunsa kuti kodi inu chipani chimenechi monga tonse tikudziwa kuti nkhani ili Malawi muno pakali pano ndi ya 50+1, okay, kapena theka kuonjezerapo mbali imodzi. Ndizona kuti nkhani imeneyi ikukhudza chipani chilichonse Malawi muno, ndipo palibe chipani chimene pakali pano chikhoza kunena kuti sichikukhudzidwa ndi nkhani imeneyi. Ifenso sikuti tangokhala yayi, monga ndatchula pano, ubale umene tapanga ndi anzathu ndi mbali imodzi imene tikusonyeza kuti nafenso tifuna kuti tigwire ndi anzathu. Ndipo ngati pangafunike kapena pangakhale mpata woti zipani zinanso zikhoza kubwera pamodzi, nafenso tilokonzeka kuyang'ana pamene popo. Koma ifeyo ngati chipani takonzeka kumenya nkhondo iyi patokha kapena ndi gulu lina. We are ready to fight. Mukoza kufunsa kuti iwe chikukulimbikitsa ndi chani? Ndikudziwa chimene ndili nacho. Ine munthu ngati ineyo panopo ndikudziwa chimene ndikudalira, ndipo Malawi asapange mistake yoti panga kutiyang'anira pansi. Ayi tikudziwa chimene takhulupirira, tikhoza kuoneka mwina ngati maso mwa anthu ena ngati osakwanira, koma tili gulu lalikulu zedi. Ndikulankhula pano tili ndi ma candidates mbali zonse za Malawi, both oyimira pa chisankho cha ma parliamentarians aku parliament komanso makansala. Ma candidate tili nawo Kunsanje, Kumangochi, Zomba, Balaka, Mwanza, Machinga, Neno, Blantyre, Chikwawa, Njeu, Kasungu, Mulilongwe muno, Kudowa, Kunchinji, Kumzimba, Urumpi, Chitipa, Karonga, Nkatabe, Likoma. Monsemo tili nawo ma candidate oyimira uphungu komanso kuyimira ukansala. That's why ndenene kuti wina asapange mistake yomati yang'anira pansi. Ayi, tili ndi system yathu, tili ndi strategy yathu imene tikusatira, ndipo tiziwa strategy imene iwe kanditu. Ena mafunsa kale kuti kodi running mate wabwera liti, funso mene lankhira kale. Panaliso funso la tonse kuti inu mnali mutonse alliance, ndipo Amalawi aona kulephera kwa gulu limeneli. Ndiye inu mutiuza ziti. Ife choyamba nene kuti chipani choyamba chotuluka mtonse alliance ndi chipani chimene cha PETRA. Choyambirira tinali ifeyo, tinatuluka pa 8 February 2023. Titaona kuti mkatimo bwatoli silupita isogolo likubwerera mbuyo, angasira timalonjeza kuti tikukalowa ukenani. Ndiye akatolika anatulutsa chikalata chawo akuti mwatengera ku Bagamoyo simnafike ukenani. Koma ndikuziwa ndifuna ndiwauze Amalawi kuti anthu ena kukenani analowa. Anthu ena kukenani anatani? Anzanga anata? Anthu ena analowa kukenani. Anthu ena apa ngono kukenani anatani? Anafika. Ndiye mkwaza funsa anthu yake ndi ndani? Amene akugwira makobidiwo. Kagulu kakang'onoko kakudya ndrama osati masera Malawi muno. Ikoko kanalowa ukenani. Koma iniyo ndazibale anu, tonse pano azibale atu. Akanali kuti ali mbuyo, ali mchipululu. Ichi muchidziwe bwinobwino wa Malawi. Amalawi lero akukuta mano Malawi momuno. Akulephera ndithu lero mene kwa chachoncho sakudziwa kuti kodi nsima ya tsiku la lero ichokera pati. Ndiye amene tingati kuti analowa kenani? Ayi ndithu. Achinyamata lero akusowa kupeza ntchito Malawi muno. Madigiri ali muti ali nthumba. Ndiye tingati amene alowa kukenani? Ayi ndithu. Anthu kunjaku ma business akugwa chifukwa chosowa forex. Analowa ukenani? Ayi ndithu. Mukapita mzipatala mankhwala ndi zipangizo mulibe. Anthu akapita kuzipatala akumauzidwa kuti mpite ku pharmacy mukagule. Ineyo mene ndinkakula mwana ndili wa chipere. Masiku ameneyo ndikapita ku chipatala cha boma ndimapeza chithandizo chilichonse chofunikira. University education yanga ndinayimba university osalipira COVID koma boma linkandipasa allowance mwezi uliwonse. Ndi allowance ya mabuku ndiyo sukulu imene naimba ino, koma lero kuti munthu apeze university education matatalazi itu ivi ndi malo ogonawo achabechabe. Ifeyo timakhala ndi amatingati halls of residence pa Chancellor College, ukalowa memuja uli ndi bedi lako, uli popangira study pemenepo, light ili pompo, akupasa zipangizo zodyera, mattress ali pompo, madzi timasamba madzi a moto kuyambira tsiku loyamba lopita pa university mpaka tsiku lotsekera sukulu, madzi otentha. Tikapita ku cafeteria, restaurant ya pa university, timadya magawo 3 azakudya zaulere. Tikafuna kuonera mpira ku Blantyre, timakhala ndi basi osakaloleya koma basi. Ndi sukulu imene naimba lero ineyo imene. Koma Kenani amene anatonjeza uja iwoka ndi amene alowa Kenani, amalawi kunjaku akuzunzika. Ndiye funso nali kodi amene atapulumutsa Malawi ndi ndani? Ndi omwewo amenewo amene anzathu afika kale Kenani angaganizira Malawi? Ayi ndithu amene akhoza kupanga zimene zija ndife mukutiona tili pano, ndipo tili wokonzeka kupulumutsa dziko la Malawi. Ndifuna ndikutsimikizira Malawi tili ndi ubwenzi ndi anzathu akunja amene ali wokonzeka kuti thandiza Malawi muno. Nanga sindani yakali kuti pakati pano tili ngati munthu wodwala patient amene ali pa bedi akukanika kudya akukanika kudzuka, ndiye Malawi yo lero. Na kapene afika kwacha amene afikira pa kugomene agwera kwacha ndizabwinonso ngati ayi ndithu amalawi akuzunzika mdziko mwawo muno, ali pa ukapolo mdziko mwawo muno. Pafunika pabwere utsogoleri wina watsopano, ndipo ineyo ndi nzanga Chris komanso ndi timu yathu yonse ndi ena onse amene azitijoyina tili wokonzeka. Kunja kuno kakhala ndi abwenzi amene akhoza kuthandiza nthawi ya mavuto, ndi odala atu. Ivi lero kumpeza munthu wachimalawi kuti anzake akunja ankhulupirire ndipo uvutatu. Anthu ambiri kunoko sakukhulupirika ayi, koma ndikuyamika Mulungu kuti ifeyo ationa kuti tikhoza kukhulupirika. Shuka even zinthu zimene tikupanga palibepo kusololapo yayi. Akanakhala ena pakali pano bweza atasolola uheve osati masera yayi. Komanso sikuti tikupanga ngati muzina la chipani ayiso tikupangaso zimenezo magawena ndi choncho. Chimene ndifotoza nchakuti ife kutuluka mutonsemo chifukwa cha zimene ndikukamba pano, tinaona kuti bwato limeneli silipita isogolo ya lipita kuti likubwerera mbuyo. Nde ya alliance I'm sure ndakambapo kale kuti I think zipani zonse even zimene zimaoneka kuti nzazikulu nazonso zakazikulankhula kuti zasiya pa khompose gula ziko. Ndikusimikizira ndasimikizira Malawi kuti mapepa lathu dzulo onse tapereka kwa komishoni AMEC, ndipo zonse zili nchimake choncho. Ndikukufunirani zabwino zonse mmene mudzakhala mukuthamanga ndi nthawi yofunikira kwambiri kuti tipeze anthu amene akhoza kuti olosa msinjewu wakula, ndipo anthu tisapangenso mzibwana. Pali zinthu zimene kukhoza kupanga nazo zibwana koma osakhala utsogoleri ayi. Utsogoleri munthu tikamuyika pa mpando ndi zaka 5 ndiye kumaona munthu kuti amene tikufuna tikumkhulupirira ameneyo wapanga zotani. Tingamkhulupiriredi akatifikisa ukenani kapena tithera mchipululu, tizifunsa mafunso amenewa. Ndipo ndili ndichikhulupirira kuti Amalawi mukhala mukusinkha nkuyang'ana kuti kodi anthu amene tikhoza kuwadalira ndi ndani, ndipo tisangane msinkhu wa munthu ayi, kapena kutalika kwake ayi, kapena kuti amafula bwanji ayi, chifukwa zimenezi zimakhala kuti zili ngati mwa munthu amene yoyo, zimakhala zobisika. Ndipo tizimakhala zobisika iya tizipemphera Malawi kuti Mulungu atipase atsogoleri amene akhoza kuti olotsa kuchokera pano pa 16 September, chifukwa dzikoli tikapanga zibwana lizafika chisawa chopitira pamene papa. Ndi chonde ya Malawi ndikupemphani kuti tisapange za zibwana, tateni tipange zinthu zoti mawa tonse tizasimba lokoma. Ambuye akudaliseni, mukhale bwino zikomo kwambiri.